Hello and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Let's play episode 113. So in the previous episode, I decided to make our oxygen setup a little bit more efficient and create some more space for bedrooms and whatnot. And that's kind of because I misread how much polluted water we had. We actually have 309 tons, and for some reason I had read this as 109 tons or somewhere around there. And 309 tons is a lot. I'm not sure it's all here. I haven't gone through and counted it up, but a lot of it is here, right? Like polluted water, here's 10.5 tons, here's 22 tons, here's 24 tons, right? I mean, 24 tons, 24 tons, 24 tons. There's a lot of polluted water here. And if you go and crank the math, which is basically that 4 times a second, so 2,400 times a day, each of these things of water has a 0.1%, so 1 in 1,000 chance of turning 1/1000th of its mass into polluted oxygen, and that's a lot. That's basically almost all of the oxygen, about a little bit over 90%, I think, of all the oxygen that we need for all of our base as it stands right now, with 27 duplicates. So this air pressure situation is not going to really improve much over time. It'll maybe slightly get better, but because duplicates are spending a lot of time in other parts of the base and oxygen diffusion just isn't, great. Also, just because I do have some other oxygen supplies, I have this up here. And then I also have an electrolyzer, which I think we're actually going to dismantle this episode. I have another setup down here. Because of that, we're probably producing more oxygen than we need after having done this. The advantage of this is that before we had sort of a layer of gas that was preventing a lot of this polluted oxygen from getting out, because we were constantly, or at least we weren't. This polluted oxygen will only produce. This polluted water will only sublimate into polluted oxygen in the event that there is not enough air pressure, right? If the air pressure gets above a certain point, and I don't remember what that point is, but it's much less than 7.7 kilograms per tile. I think it might actually literally just be 1 atmosphere. If it's below that point, it'll do that. It'll have that chance of producing the polluted oxygen. And otherwise, it will just sit there, right? So we had kind of a layer of air that was keeping a lot of this in. And it was a little bit pressurized, right, because of the way we had sort of set things up. But we weren't getting our full oxygen production as a result. Here, because we have these deodorizers, the deodorizers are going to create, every time they suck in, they're going to create kind of a little vacuum that's also going to prompt these things of polluted water to start emitting polluted oxygen. And so this polluted oxygen problem is not going to go away. This is actually much in excess of what we need. So to that end, we are going to deconstruct this, and we're just going to kind of wall off this area and forget about it for a while. So we're going to wall up this, and we're going to build a granite ladder going down here. And then I think the next thing I want to do is I just want to build ourselves some granite tile and just basically tile up across here, I think. That way we'll have room for a bedroom if we want to. But we're basically just going to enclose this space and kind of forget about it. It'll keep producing oxygen, but we're not going to be super enthusiastic about getting our maximum oxygen out of this area. I just need a ladder here, that way they can supply fresh regolith to these deodorizers and turn that into clay, and we should be good to go. So that's one problem. That's how we're going to tackle that. We just actually have a lot more polluted water than I thought we had at a glance. The other thing I want to tackle is that I want to eventually do something with this water over here. We don't want to just kind of leave it here, because this area is really cold. It's, you know, negative 30 degrees, negative 25 degrees, etc. We want to do something with this. Like, this is a nice little ice melting facility that we have here, and it's going to give us a lot of liquid water. But I'd like to put this liquid water somewhere, right? We can't just let it sit here. Again, it'll eventually freeze. That'll take a while, I think, but we also just want to use the water somewhere. So, to that end, I'm thinking of maybe revamping the way that we have our reservoir set up over here. This is just a pretty janky thing. We have water getting pumped in from, well, at this point, not really getting pumped in at all, because this thing is not really running, because we're probably not going to be running this anytime soon. I think we're just basically going to dismantle all this before we run anymore. Like this whole thing, actually this entire thing just right here, right, is all going to be rebuilt, replaced, whatever. So I'd like to make this a little bit more kind of efficient of a cool water storage thing. I'd kind of like it to be a series of liquid reservoirs that then also have water on top of them. So I want to rearrange a lot of this, I think is the plan. So I think the first step that we want to do is we want to get the water out of here. This can be, you know, some buffer storage, temporary storage, that's fine. But we would like the water to move somewhere. And I think for now, just getting some of it flowing out to around here would be fine. We can put some clean water storage up here, and I think I'd be down with that. I don't really want to crack into this area, but let's go ahead and remove a little bit of this. And we are going to also set up for ourselves a little clean water storage. It's just going to kind of be temporary until we get this system all kind of set up the way we want, right? Yeah, and then we're going to need some pipe. We have a pretty nice setup with this, but I think we're just going to end up merging it all again, unfortunately. Yeah, I think that's the plan. So, next thing I want to do is I'd like to take some ladder, go ahead and ladder our way down, just straight down to here, like so. We can dig out this as well. I'm just going to have an access ladder. Well, I'm not going to build the rest of it right now, I suppose. I don't know. We can. Why not? I'll queue up the order. But yeah, I want this ladder. That way I can then take a liquid pipe. Igneous rock is good. And we're just going to go ahead and run a pipe down through this whole system. Yeah. Let's... This is kind of an awkward thing. I don't really want to get rid of this, because this is like an interesting thing that we can work with. We can make some sort of pretty thing with our base later. This will be some sort of science facility. Right, eventually you just start prettying up your base and making it look cool. And I like these little things that they have around here. So let's go ahead and just actually run it like so. We'll run it out to there, and then, yeah, I think we'll just run a pipe down like so. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and liquid reservoirs, just stick one more down here. Plumbing, liquid pipe, igneous rock is fine. And then I'm going to link these up in series. Just like so. Alright. So then we're going to start getting water out of here, and we want to put it into a revamped sort of storage thing here. So what do we want that to look like is a good question. I think the first thing we want to do is just deconstruct a lot of this. We're not really interested in the way this is set up at the moment. This is all just kind of nonsense that was put up there temporarily. So I'm just going to give a deconstruct order. Go ahead and... do I want it to be all... well, first off, let's just deconstruct any liquid pipes in this room. Next, I think any buildings is good. That wasn't what I wanted. Ladders count as buildings. What am I thinking? So let's go through... well, this top layer I don't want to have deconstructed just yet, because we need some scaffolding, essentially, to move around. And I think I also don't want any of these tiles deconstructed, because I think we will ultimately have tile there. Let's do that. And then 3 doesn't quite line up the way I would like. I think we're going to shift this down slightly. We can go ahead and deconstruct this. That doesn't really serve any purpose anymore. And 1, 2, 3, floor, 1, 2, 3, floor, 1, 2, 3, floor. I need to go down 2 more to have kind of what I'm looking for, which is fine because then it lines up here. Okay. So next thing I want to do, let's go ahead and set up some granite tile across here. Let's dig out this, and we are going to rearrange this space just a little bit after we've gotten some of this deconstruction all done. I think also I want to not have this deconstructed. We'll leave this as our way down for now. Okay, so there's our orders. Also, what's the priority on this? Yeah, let's crank the priority on these up higher. Repairing all that stuff is good. Also, what are we... we're getting there. Let's go ahead and tell Stinky to hop back in. This will be repaired in short enough time. Okay. And there were a few more other things I wanted to settle. Sorry that we've basically been running this on pause this entire time, but I kind of want to just... I haven't played in a little bit, and I want to reorient myself. So there's not a jobs mastery done. Okay, so this is just some old message. And new printables are available. What do we have? Coal, I suppose. Because, again, we only take people with diver's lungs. That's the rule. That's the stipulation of this run. Alright, so I have my water storage. Sort of temporary. We're going to have this go somewhere. But I just want to start getting water moving out of here. And going in. And we're going to stick it all here. Have a little clean water reservoir next to our base. I have this all set up. I'm going to improve the priority of this a little bit here. And while we're at it, we can also just say deconstruct all these. I don't need them anymore. And was there anything else I wanted to do? Oh, yeah. This doesn't need to be running anymore. This is just a really inefficient design. This was some quick and dirty thing that we set up because we wanted to start getting water out of here as soon as possible. Yeah, we're just going to go through. And in fact, now is actually a good time. Now is a good time to just get in here, I think, and get in here and get rid of some of this stuff. We also have the question of whether or not we want to set up some sort of cooling loop type thing as opposed to just dumping water in, which is not always the most efficient thing. I think we want to do that as well. So I want to set up some radiant pipe. I I think gold would be fine. The temperature's not going to be that hot. And we'll set up a little coolant loop over here. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get in here. How do I want to do this? Yeah, we'll just deconstruct, build a little bit of scaffolding for now. Just across here. Yeah, this is fine. And dig out the rest of this. Dig out this. Let's priority 6 this stuff. And we will build a little coolant loop here. Anything else? Anything else? We're gathering slime for our mushrooms. I don't think I want to expand food production. I suppose I don't want to have people having access to just walk down here. I guess I don't care that much. It's cold water, but it's not that cold. I mean, if they decide to do this, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's fine. Whatever. We're still building out this area. Anything else I want to do before I unpause? Oh, one other thing that I want to consider at least is... Oh, yeah, I know, okay. Another thing I'd like to do and set up is I want to get our Gravitas shielding fully operational here. I'd like to just basically fully excavate this entire area. Let's go ahead and just give a dig order for all this. Yeah, just dig out everything, honestly. And I would like to build, not metal tile, bunker tile. I'd like to get our bunker tile out across the rest of this. We'll do one more. How much is that? 20. What is bunker tile? Base 100. Yeah, that should be fine. I would like to dig out that. I'll go ahead and give a dig out order here. We're not going to be sticking this regolith anywhere. We're just going to leave it up here. But I would like to start cooling down this base. Yeah, just some regolith dumped by shovels probably. I'd like to start digging out this area. I think that this Gravitas area is like a really cool looking thing, and I'd like to have that as part of our base at some point as well. And let's also just build some scaffolding across here. And I'll also build it down like so. And we'll just get a little bit of scaffolding just so they can get down to here and do this stuff. Alright, perfect. Alright, looking good. One other thing I forgot. I guess I didn't forget, but I left for a while. Also, sorry. Yeah, we have snazzy suits to assign. I forgot about that as well. Okay, one more thing. But this entire episode might be on pause, actually. One more thing I want to do is... Where were they? I saw them earlier. Here we go. Snazzy suits. Grab your snazzy suits, everybody. Devin, you get a suit. You get a suit. You get a suit. Everybody, snazzy suits. Time to get fancy up in here. We built them earlier, we just never assigned them to people. Ren, do I have one more? Or am I out? Oh, I am out. That was the last one. Alright, well, you know what, Ren? Consolation prize. We got a cool vest up here. That's kind of like a snazzy suit. Or Turner? Ren already has one. Turner. You can have that. Is this really unreachable? Is that what it just said? Snazzy suit unreachable. Why is it unreachable? This is open. They can get across here. This is open. They just go here, right? Do sideways doors work differently now? I don't know. Maybe the update changed something like this. Let's go ahead and deconstruct this then with priority 6. And just in case, I mean, we could put a tile here if that's... I don't think this is an issue, right? Is this reachable? This is unreachable. Is this clay unreachable? This is unreachable. This is unreachable. Is this unreachable? No. So it's this door, I think, that's messing things up. So it doesn't like this sideways door anymore. We got through here before. The update apparently changed some things. Okay. And I'd like to assign this neural vacillator to somebody. What do we have? If I go to vitals, Nisbet, what are you? What are you? You have regenerative trait, so you've already done this. I kind of want to spread out the love a little bit. Who in my base has done stuff to deserve some good treatment? Actually, let's go to jobs and see if we can find really senior people. All right, I have a master artist. That's Harold. Harold, actually, you know what? Maybe it's you that we want. Maybe Harold is the guy. He's the guy who did all of our art. All right, where's Harold? Harold, my buddy. What are you? Have you done a neural vacillation before? You have not. All right. Cannot build narcoleptic. You know, you've got some issues, Harold, but we're going to... Whoops. We're going to give you an order to go over here and get your brain resettled. Harold. Perfect. Set this to a 9. Okay. Anything else? I kind of wanted to tweak this stuff as well. So, negative 190, negative 190. We basically have this turned off for now. We have a lot of liquid oxygen here. I ran the system to be really efficient and get a lot of liquid oxygen, but I don't know. We're a ways off from getting our stuff going, and I had planned on just expanding out our storage of liquid oxygen. But now I'm just kind of sitting here, and it doesn't seem like we're going to go down that road. There's just other stuff I have higher priority than increasing our liquid oxygen supply. So all that delay that we created for ourselves kind of going away because, I mean, we could have launched our rocket probably 10 episodes earlier if I just made a simple steam room like this and gone down that road. Also, this is made out of iron. I figured out why this was breaking and none of the others were. We accidentally made one of these out of iron, which is not what we want to have happen. This room is going to be a little bit screwed because there's just a little bit too much. Like, this is only up to 50 degrees right now. There's a little bit too much thermal mass in the system, unfortunately. So we're going to need to get in here at some point and do some repairs probably. But for now, I think we're fine. We'll just leave it at this. So yeah, basically going to keep these turned off, and this liquid pipe is taking damage. The oxygen is at negative 219. So is it freezing? Is that what we had happen over here? Elements. Liquids. Let's check out our liquid oxygen. Yeah, negative 218.8. Alright, yeah, that's a little unfortunate. Yeah, so we're just not going to run the system anymore and hope that this... Because it's a negative 218.9. A little unfortunate. This is just pipe made out of igneous rock, though, so it ought to reach a little bit of thermal equilibrium here. We'll leave that alone, hope it doesn't break. The other thing I want to tackle... Sorry, this entire episode is going to be on pause. The other thing I wanted to tackle and set up was I wanted to expand out over here and see what we can find. Just set up a little order to go ahead and explore the rest of the map. We actually don't need to dig order this stuff. But let's see if there are any more geysers on the map, any more interesting things on the map before we start setting up our sort of final stuff. And I guess we also want to... I don't know how we haven't gotten in here yet. There might be a few of these, actually, that we haven't cracked into. Are there? Where are they? There's one here, but that's because I haven't reached it yet. Yeah. So let's go ahead and... We need more slime anyways. We're going to dig out through here. Dig out through here. I'm going to set up some deodorizers every once in a while. Like so. We'll go ahead and set up a little bit of scaffolding. Like so. More scaffolding, please. Like so. Dig out across here, see what we can find in these areas, see if there's anything interesting. It's possible there isn't, that it's just more boring stuff, or resources that we don't need. But if there are any more geysers, I'd like to start tapping them. And in addition, I suppose, does this connect up? This has access for everybody. Yes. We could dig this ladder up and get a little bit more information there as well. I think I want to access these Wheezeworts though as I do that. So let's go ahead and say ladder, igneous rock. Actually, granite's fine. Yeah, let's just dig out straight up through here. Queue up those orders. There's some polluted water here, that's fine. Dig out through here. Dig out this, dig out this. Okay. Alright. I think we're getting ourselves set. Let's also go ahead. What is this? Oh, we're deconstructing it, that's fine. Okay. A little bit more area here to explore. That's easy enough. Whoops. Yeah, okay. This is good. Dig out a little bit further here, see what we can see. And I guess we can give an order to dig out over here. I think I'm fine with that. That's a long way to travel. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and dig our way out through here as well. Okay. So, I think we've queued up. We've done this entire episode on pause, which is maybe a little bit boring, but also maybe just gives me a chance to talk more. There's a little area over here. So, lots of stuff that we've just kind of set up. We're going to pump out this water here, pump it out to here. Once we've deconstructed this, I'll have a clearer idea of how I want to rearrange this. I'm already going to dig out a little bit more here, that way we can have more room here. Basically going to set up a lot of liquid reservoirs, and we'll have a setup so that we can have a bottle emptying station. We can have a pitcher pump for getting water if we need it. All that stuff will be set up. I don't think we're going to have this pump or anything like this anymore, but everything else will be Gucci. We're rearranging this oxygen stuff. I do need to set up our sort of terraforming area over here, which we'll get to. We're going to break into here, rearrange this a little bit. What else? What else? What else? What's going on here? Why is this not filling up? We'll unpause briefly. Interesting. So we're not filling up this gas reservoir with natural gas for some reason. Probably just because this is a really confusing pipe to the system. It's got a bunch of inputs and outputs since these are just stuck here. Sure. I can buy that. So we want to pump more natural gas out of here. Okay, I think we've tackled all the main stuff, right? We rearranged a lot of our stuff. We've set up some new systems. We're going to explore the rest of the map, make sure we get all that settled. We'll try and tackle this at some point, this sort of mistake of building iron ore and then making this out of igneous rock as opposed to something like, well, even just insulated igneous rock would have been a good idea. We're going to dig out the rest of this system. And, all right, when we come back in the next episode, we'll actually start building all this stuff, and I'll talk a little bit more about plans for the future and what sort of the final base, sketch out some more ideas about what I think I want the final base to look like. All right, cutting things here. Long episode, didn't actually play any of the game in a sense, but hopefully you enjoy it. All right, see you guys.